Hey everybody, welcome to the Evercade podcast. I'm here with Pete, with Crow, and maybe Gandalf. Who knows?
I'm back with new internet, new and improved internet.
Oh yeah, you got new
Nice.
internet. That's why we weren't here yet last week. How's your new internet going?
Oh, it's amazing. I can actually watch a hockey game without having to restart it every 5 minutes because it stutters the stream. So this is pretty
Nice.
amazing. I got 3 terabyte down and 3 terabyte up.
Damn.
Gigabyte, not
Okay,
terabyte.
okay.
I was like terabyte.
Okay.
Holy!
I was like, dude, Canada is rocking and leading the way for this.
I was
Well,
like,
I mean, it's
you're
pretty
living in
rough.
the future.
Yeah, so I got fiber connected. So they had to drill a hole in the side of the house to put the box in, but it's like, yeah, so I get 3. It's funny because I get 3 gigabit down and 3 gigabit up, but my network card is 2.5 gigabit. So technically, my network card can't pull as much as
Yes.
my wireless card because I got a wireless in that could, or something like my wireless card can pull a better speed. My NIC runs out at 2.5. It's kind of funny.
Yeah, you're always going to be bottlenecked at your weakest link because that's probably why. Like I could get over, might be able to get over a gigabit, but honestly, everything's plugged into a gigabit switch, so that would be my limit anyway. So.
Hey Crow, I see you got some Rubik's Cube action going on over there.
Oh, they've been here for a while, actually.
Oh. I just noticed it's like a tower.
Like this one, right?
Yeah, fourth one.
Well, no, this is not really cute.
Oh, it's like part. You've got a bunch of them back there, yeah.
No, I've had these for a while. I don't know why you just noticed.
How long has that been there since last show?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if they've all been sitting there, but definitely
Okay.
These two were sitting here just like this, and I actually put this one on like that one.
Okay, that's what
and then I could stack that one, and I guess I could stack that one. Suppose I have like there's a whole box of them somewhere. I don't know where they are though. These are all official Rubik's Cubes though. They're not any knockoffs. They're all just official. Like they're so cheap though. So I was kind of buying them off of Amazon.
Awesome. Okay, well, I'm going to say hi to the chat. We definitely, of course, we're going to talk about the main topic, the roadmap, and all that stuff. We will go over polls real quick, so I don't want that to get lost. But yeah, we'll dive into that. But let's see here. This morning or afternoon, depending on where you are, we've got Eric Harper. We've got channel member Taz. Wow, a lot of channel members. Channel member Rob Taylor. Channel member Lloyd JRM. We've got Rusta. We have channel member Fan Fiction. We have Gene Joke. And we have channel member Immortal Sojourn. We got Ballistic Coffee Boy. We got Sucker MC. Jason Shears. Dub64. Oh, hey. And from the other part of the world, we have Scruffy Looking RGB. Hey, what's up? All right. Well, I don't know about you all, but I feel energized. It could just be the coffee, but I feel energized today.
Yeah, maybe it's just you.
It could be. It's funny because before the show, I'm like, wait, let me go back and refill my coffee. And then I'm like, no, I'm good. Oh man!
I can tell you what that's like. I've never drank coffee.
I can't relate to you anymore, Crow. No.
Well,
Yeah, I'm drinking coffee right now.
Yeah.
I can't stand the smell of it. You can't get close enough to it to drink it.
Yeah. What did you say? I think on the last show when I said I love the smell of coffee, and you said it smelled worse than an outhouse or something. I was like, what?
It's like, to me, it's the worst smell ever. I don't know how anybody can drink it.
Worse than a rotting corpse, like ever.
Let me put it this way: I had to replace a sewage pump, and that was a more pleasant smell.
Oh my god! Hey, see, yes, coffee. Scruffy knows. All right. So, yeah, let's get into the polls because otherwise, I know that'll get forgotten. Because I think this next topic after that may take a little bit. So, I can't remember, but I think this was from last time from one of our channel members. I forget who it was, and I do apologize. But or it could have been on a live stream. I don't know. Sometimes they'll blend together. But someone was saying, it could have been you, Gene Joke. I don't know. But someone was saying like, hey, what if they did like we were talking like multiplayer, and they said, what if they even did like one game of the month and just like a basic lobby, and you could like play with your friends, and then they would like remove it and add another game. Or I kind of added that. So here's what's interesting though, is that like I want to say that I think most people they want the console to be retro and we don't want to use multiplayer. We got 75 votes because 25% of the people said, yeah, that'd be totally awesome. I would use it. 25 were like, yeah, it's a cool idea, but it's not for me. And then I'd rather have an online leaderboard. And then 15% said they would occasionally use it. And then, yeah, got a lot like in the comments, like Jason Shears. Try to recognize some of the names because I hate how, of course, YouTube doesn't give the real whatever. Hates online gaming, missing couch co-op. Wouldn't want online capabilities. Alex wouldn't want online capabilities. The whole point of Evercade is offline. Rosie Rat Ray is like, I don't want Evercade to be online. There are other plenty ways to do so. This person, I don't want online at all. I don't want to waste Blaze and monies on something that the users would benefit from. Examples: Arcade, One Up, iArcade, stick with retro. I don't want online multiplayer, so I wouldn't bother. And someone said, like, remove it each month. They were like saying that, or just add a general online mode. I'm like, okay. I think the reason I said that was to try to make it really simple. And someone's like, create a separate ecosystem.
Part of the problem is if they started doing like online multiplayer stuff, well, then they have to all of a sudden now have to have servers up to maintain all that, And that's going to be additional cost that they have to incur every month or so just to keep that up and running. And then if the Evercade does go defunct, then all that online functionality is just not going to be accessible anyway.
Yeah. Oh, hey, Crow. When you said that about coffee, you didn't know who was in the house. Ballistic Coffee Boy. Yeah, especially with his name like that. Yeah, that is his lifeblood. Yeah.
Well,
I
know it. I know people love coffee. I don't. I hate it. I can't get near it.
Yeah, it's not for everyone.
Yeah. No, it's like the one thing where if it was a choice between having like food in the house the next day for lunch or coffee, I'd be like, we need coffee. As much as, I would need to.
See, isn't that just an addiction then?
Maybe. I don't know. It is
addictive. I mean, caffeine is addictive.
Yeah. It's my one fix, right? It's my one, it's my one fix. But yeah, so I thought this was interesting. One thing they could kind of do is they could kind of have it be like peer-to-peer, and as far as so they wouldn't have to have servers for that. And then for the high score, well, it would be nice to be integrated. If you had to use like a QR code, then that wouldn't take up as much. But yeah, I see what you mean. Like, oh no, that would be for a high score. I'm sorry. No, you're right. Well, they could maybe just do peer-to-peer, but then you'd be at the mercy of the other person's connection. But if they did, I think what I meant to say, if they see, now even I have coffee. If they did leaderboards,
but if they were going to do any sort of online functionality, it should just be limited to. I would almost see. I'd say leaderboards, but I almost don't want to say leaderboards because how do you know if that score is valid or not? You would almost have to have the leaderboards only when you're in the tournament setting. But
yes,
even then, I think that would be easy to negate. That roadblock. Just it'd be so easy, I think, to just fake scores and stuff. So I don't really think it's that feasible.
It seems that the general consensus is it would just take too much R&D for Blaze to do that, and because they're a smaller company, maybe they probably shouldn't. That's kind of what I get from the.
So yeah, I think they're fine just limiting any online access to just updates.
And Game of the Month, which I hope that comes back. I kind of miss that now.
I don't miss it because I kind of forgot about it after a while.
Of course you did.
And besides, all of those games of the month are in Indie Heroes collections anyway, so it's not like you lost those games.
True. All right, I think we can dive into speculation mode because I know people wanted. But so one other thing I did want to say before we do go into that, I was glad to see that Blaze did update the Super Pocket for Retro Dodo. But this is in case Sean and Ryan, if they hopefully maybe still watch us. I was happy to see that. One thing I wanted to point out is you don't know what version you're at on the Super Pocket. Like you can't go under settings or anything. It can't tell you, which that was kind of weird. It just says it was successful. I mean, it was easy peasy to do. And they, and now especially after playing that, they need to fix it where you don't have any, like that doesn't have any lag between the levels. What's interesting is the EXP has more lag when it loads, but not between levels, and then the VS kind of has both. Yeah, exactly. Crash line. They need to fix that, and it's a real pet peeve of mine because for Game of the Month on the VS, it wasn't like that.
So
wasn't like
wait a
that
minute,
at all.
this thing with the lag with the donut dono, wouldn't that be just an update to the game? I mean, if you
Yes.
had
Well,
basically
No, because on the Super Pocket it doesn't have that issue. So I'm thinking it's something weird in the firmware. But no, you could be right, or it could be the game.
well, my point is that you don't necessarily still need to update anything through the Super Pocket. You don't need to.
No.
It's only there if the only thing you have is a Super Pocket.
Yeah. But I know that's my pet peeve, especially because like for me, like if you're just sitting down and you're wanting to go through just like a session or like you're streaming it or something, and it disrupts the flow. It's frustrating because I can play it on my Steam Deck and it's like it plays like it should, or like on the Super Pocket it plays like it should. Oh, okay, yeah, they updated it. No cart for VS would be great if they got the same. Yeah, okay, that's what he's saying. And then what I like the game of the month be so much better if it was from different cards throughout the year is a tease. Oh, well, I think that's because of licensing, though, right? Like,
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's because they've asked those individual people who made the game if it's all right if they offered the game for free for a while, and they're like, sure, and it's only going to be for a month. Plus, that's a teaser and incentive for people to maybe they don't want the whole collection, they just want that one game. So okay, maybe they're just fine buying it on either Steam or whatever other platform it's available on.
Yeah, so I can't wait to hear you guys' opinion, because I know like I made a video, Pete made a video, Rich made a video.
You know what my opinion is.
You're like what roadmap?
Yeah, I was like, where's the information? I was like, I was like, there's nothing here to talk about.
What?
Can you really call it a roadmap?
It's not a roadmap. Here's the thing. Okay, imagine if Marvel put out
not even a map.
Marvel for the movies, they put out roadmaps all the time. Here's our plan for our movies. The thing is, though, their roadmap just doesn't say movie question mark. And, usually roadmaps, like if they had announced all these collections and then said, okay, well, here's the roadmap to make it easier to understand when they're coming out. That's what the roadmap would be useful for.
All I know is I was right. They're not stop doing hardware. I've been saying this for a long. No, there's enough hardware. I'm like, nope. That's how they make their money.
I mean, really, that's where the most of the speculation could come from, is the fact they say hardware. Yeah. And I was
no carts and like no type of collections like console.
Yeah, exactly. It's not even telling us like if it's a console or an arcade or a computer cart. It doesn't say anything.
I don't understand why they did this. Like, do they not like? Did they not respect the community? Like,
well, somebody left a comment and said, "Well, everybody kept asking for a roadmap, so here it is."
Yeah, but I mean, it's just stupid. Yeah. It's like childish to respond that way, right?
Yeah. So here's what I kind of think, because I know like. So somebody commented and said, no, Blaze said that Hyper Megatech is going to have a separate roadmap. And then somebody said, like, someone unofficially. So for me, does, like first off, I want to say it doesn't make sense that Hyper Megatech would have a separate roadmap because they don't release enough products yet.
It makes sense because I think they're going to, like I said before, they're going to release a shit ton of Hyper Megatechs this year. So that's why it's getting a separate roadmap. But this tells you, again, I was right that they're going to be producing a bunch more hardware for this. And I don't think it's going to be variation. I think they're actually going to legit put some new hardware out.
Well, I think they would kind of have to.
Well,
if they're putting out 4
so
things.
I agree, but I think I know what it is. Again, speculation, rumor. That I think somebody was saying that might do like a VS Lite. Like maybe it won't have Wi-Fi. I don't know. Maybe it could have one slot. Somebody could be a cheaper version.
So it'll be a Hyper Megatech version of the VS.
Oh. Either that, or here's the other. Yeah, because the rumor is they're discontinuing. I think what it's going to. Yeah, either that. I think it's going to basically be the same EXP in VS. They're just going to be rebranded consoles and may have like minor features added or taken away.
Well, they got the word new, so that tells me it's got to be. It's not a variation, not a color. So yeah.
No, I would say that even if it is a different color, it would still be new.
Yeah,
I know, but it's not
really a new color.
Hardware. It's kind of blurring the lines, right? So I don't know, but this is pretty vague anyway. But
yeah, the question is like, how much are they going to blur the lines? Because somebody was mentioning that I think a lot of initial reaction is like, oh, those could be Super Pockets.
Yeah,
I think
that's what I originally thought too. But I got poo-pooed
in the Discord. They had specifically said no, it's not Super Pockets.
I don't.
So I said.
Discord.
So here's
Blaze hasn't officially said that though.
8
That was
people.
like coming from
somebody
yes.
pointed out that that's what they'd said in the Discord.
Yeah.
And then I said, you know what? Watch the new hardware. What they're going to do is they're going to take the Super Pockets, rebrand them as Evercade Juniors, and that's the new hardware.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, that's what I mean. It's not going to be like a VS 2.0 or like an EXP 2.0. That's a major. I can almost promise it's not going to be.
I guarantee it's going to be something along those lines, and I guarantee it's going to be a tabletop arcade with 10 slots, something like that. I almost
something like that would
go after that market.
That would make more sense. Something
like a countertop. Sorry.
Yeah, where you could pop in multiple, and then maybe there's like new arcade cards to go with it. Like that would make more sense.
But again, like I mean, like this, like I think just putting this out, just like I think it's great. I love this idea because I'm a big fan of new hardware stuff. Yeah, more. But I mean, it's good. I think it's very divisive to the core community too, right? Like not to tell us what is console versus arcade versus. You know what? They could have just not even put the names. Just the color of the boxes would have been fine.
Yeah, well, that's what they had done in the past. Is they had just had the color. Yeah. This is just not the color even.
To be honest with you, it just shows like a flippant, like, just give them something. Give them a little bit of scrap to think about.
Plus,
it's Blaze being Blaze. That's what.
Plus,
it is.
this is not even reliable because how often is the first roadmap they give us in the year not even close to what they actually wind up releasing?
Yeah, you're right. It just feels disorganized and silly. I just thought it was funny. Like I'm just like, well.
Shocker! That's actually that should be Blaze's motto. No, I'm serious. So there's one thing that I will keep picking on them for this is that I feel like they're very casual. Like they don't have a set schedule. Like they try to stick to it, but like you know what I mean. That's
yeah. There's some huge breaks in the rollout too, right? You get April, then you got May and June. You get like almost 3 months between releases, right?
Yeah, I mean, just between April and July.
And then to jam-pack July in with not only... So this is what I think is happening, guys. There's new hardware coming, and the July carts are packaged with them. That's why they're together.
Okay, thank you. I was gonna say like it could be a trackball, it could be an arcade stick, like some type of companion to go with. Yeah, that would make sense.
But you know, it's funny. It's like because of all the speculation now, whatever they come out with is bound to be disappoint people.
You know what? I don't care. I'm gonna buy it anyway. But
me too. But I'm not the one predicting they're gonna have a 10 cartridge slot arcade machine.
I feel like I just think that would be a big seller because like I would love that. Like I got my old mini arcade one out on my desk right now. It's like a Chinese knockoff, but I would love to have an Evercade branded version of that. That would be pretty cool. That I could just put 10 carts in, because I did a video on my channel about an 8-cart reader for my Nintendo Switch. I can't live without that now. I can't live without having 8-cart games in my Switch all the time and pressing the remote control to switch between them. I just can't live without that. Well,
mini fridge.
But doesn't that only work if it's docked?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. I play most of my Switch games because I use my play most of my Switch games actually docked because that's where the kids play too. And then I have my Steam Deck for when I want to do everything else.
Nice. But let's say they did a mini. The thing though was that I don't know, could they do that price at $200? Because
oh god, they can't put a mini fridge on a game roadmap. Oh my god, if they're that deaf to gaming, they got a problem. Like that's Microsoft putting their mini fridge on their roadmap. Like, I mean, really? Come on.
Yeah, does hardware include like something like a cartridge holder? Like
it could be. Yeah.
Oh my god, if they're doing that stuff, we're gonna roast the crap and I'll have fun with that.
Or maybe here's a carrying case for the Evercade.
Well, that's not hardware though. No, that's not. But so here's the thing: if they did a tabletop right, like an arcade, it would have to be priced at $200 because then you have to still buy the carts, and that's like way more expensive than for let's say your average person who's not familiar with Evercade.
Countertop.
They buy, but I'm saying like they're competing with Arcade 1-Up, so I don't.
No, I wouldn't go that big. I think they could go just a little bit bigger than like the Neo Geo Minis because they were all like $129, right? But I don't know.
And I guess if they had like some built-in games with it too, and then you could put in carts. Yeah,
I know. I'm less like I just think this is like laughable. Like I
it's a minivan with Evercade support.
Yeah, maybe. But I mean, I don't really.
You can while you're driving, you can play Evercade.
Yeah. So it's kind of so.
Are they
no,
tired of your crap?
So
Probably.
that's interesting, Finn, because no, they used to be a lot more inclusive. They used to join here, and they used to post more to Discord, and they just kind of like they kind of vanished. I don't know, maybe if they just got like tired of getting constructive feedback.
Yeah.
You know, because it's not like we've never said, "Oh, this sucks." We've just said, "Hey."
'Cause if they're super sensitive, they need to grow up because we're their biggest supporters. Like, yeah, sure, it's not rose and sunshine 100% of the time, but I'd say 90% of the time we're overwhelmingly positive towards everything they do. So
Yeah,
I don't think it's that. I just think they're super busy
yeah.
creating very vague roadmaps. I'm sorry, I'm gonna hold them to task. Like, I'll give them their due. Like, for me, I love the roadmap because I'm getting 4 more pieces of hardware. I love it.
Not see the problem is, and I think a lot of people feel this way. Is like, hey, we're not really looking for it, and then sometimes you may want something, but you're like, I don't want to break the bank. You know, it's just, you know, like at least the feedback I get when people make posts is most people like I kind of when I see new hardware, I groan too. I'm kind of like, why? What? You still haven't gotten your existing software on your hardware to the point to develop.
Well, that's the thing too. Is like you look at this and you're like, well, each of these carts are going to cost what, $25, at least US, $25. You see hardware, and you're like, well, that's gonna each one of those is probably going to cost significantly more than that.
Exactly.
So,
I love RMGB.
whatever it is, it could be anywhere. It could be depending on what it could be. What it is, it could be.
I still think one of these is. I think one of these is going to be a reskin of the EXP because. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, because there's only the white and the black ones. So yeah, they should come. Maybe it's 4 new colors, four new Evercade EXP colors.
It could be that, yeah. It could be that.
Copy Nintendo's playbook from when they were trying to sell more Game Boys and just decided to come out a whole bunch of different colors.
Right. Thank you, Lord JRM. Yeah. See, to me, like, I don't know. Like, I don't like. Would they come out with like an EXP 2.5 that maybe just has like a bigger screen and built-in analog stick? Sure, but and I wouldn't. That really wouldn't excite me. It's like, okay, then they would probably just add analog support on the VS, and you know what I mean.
It'd be interesting, like if they did come out with colored variants. If each color variant had its own specific theme that was unique for that specific color.
See, that's that VS. See, that's what I was thinking, that they would come out with like a Duke EXP because now people would have to have that to match. You know, like they did with the VS special edition and the EXP.
Though. I don't see that as new hardware. It's not. It's just a
you mean a color variant, not new hardware.
Variant, right?
But depending on what the definition is, you know.
Yeah, I know, but I mean that's what we mean. We don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, we don't know what they mean.
Yeah, which is fine. I think that's what they probably do. It's their big troll. I think this was meant to be on April 1st.
That would have made more sense.
I don't know.
But again, Blaze would have to put that. And that's what I kind of mean. Like they're kind of like a fun company or whatnot. Why not hold off, and then on April 1st just troll something? But I wonder then if it would just like make a bunch of people.
Or maybe this is actually a prelude to their actual April Fool's joke that'll come out on Monday, where it's like
which is the real roadmap.
Yeah, which is like a video, a showcase video that doesn't tell us anything.
But are they really a fun company? Like I don't see anything they do that's fun.
Of course it's fun. They own fun stock.
Oh, dude, that's true. No, let's not go down that rabbit hole again.
And EXP the sliding power switch. Well, yeah, I mean, but more so like in the beginning, like where they would like have like a bunch of hidden secrets in the secret menu games to unlock, and then I just kind of feel like they've kind of got away from that, right? So
yeah, I don't know. It's kind of funny. So let's talk about the actual collections. So there's 10. We already got 2 consoles. Where do you think the split's going to be on the rest of them?
I don't know. I can't guess.
I know. Just speculate.
I'd say okay. There's 10. Well, let's see. There's 8 here that are unknown. I'd say maybe 4 of them console, red. 1 of them computer, 3 of them arcade.
I think they might only do 2 arcades. I think they
I think it might be a little high on the arcade, but
yeah, I think they got a problem with arcade. It's finding license holders to the games they want.
Well, not only that, but to do each individual arcade game has to have a different emulator sometimes, you know?
I think we're getting 2 exclusives, like 2 full voids.
Oh, you mean
Ooh.
more native games? Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're getting two of those.
I'd see more native games for sure.
Yeah. We've got big plans for 2024, but we ain't telling you about it. Here's this empty roadmap.
Yep.
But then it's like, but when haven't they say they have big plans for whatever year it is? Because what are they going to come out and say? We don't really have anything planned.
I think some people were getting confused.
How do
Some people
you
were
not
saying,
give them like troll and make fun of them for this roadmap? Like honestly, who in their right mind can't see the lunacy of this? Like,
yeah.
I mean, you gotta
That's
be.
why when I
You
looked at
gotta
it,
have
I
your
was
nose so far up Blaze's butt not to complain about this roadmap, right?
I was just like,
Right? Yeah.
yeah, I was
Am I
really
stupid?
confused because I saw the roadmap and when I saw people already putting up videos about the roadmap, and I'm like, how can I even make a video about this roadmap? I
That
mean,
was my
I can't.
video for 2 minutes. I'm like, yeah, okay, here it is. It's like, yeah.
We have MediaCore plans this year. At least we're getting 12 cards. I think some people, I saw my comments were confused and thought we were only getting like eight more. It's like, no, we're getting 10. But yeah, this is just a bunch of junk behind the scenes. But they said bigger and better licenses. That's
That's a bold statement.
yeah.
Well, you could say that about anything because that's highly subjective.
Exactly. They could say we got Flashback 3.0 coming, and
They
then
could be like, we got 4 more Pico collections coming out.
yeah.
But that's like to me that's not like a big license though. I wish they said we were getting like what would have been more exciting than new hardware is hey, we're getting new consoles. That would have been a lot more exciting.
I'm more. Oh, Gene. So you're now Gene's trolling us.
Well,
yeah, but
I mean,
you know what? We want.
Well, I haven't been. I don't care. I don't want to see a roadmap. I want to see information. I
Yeah.
only want to see.
And usually the information comes in a roadmap
the showcases. Yeah,
or a roadmap of when showcase is going to happen. It's like
that's like what I was saying is like usually people put out the roadmaps after they've announced things to make it clear when things are coming out.
Konami built in. So here's a legit thing that they might do, right? Like let's say like the licenses for Capcom has expired. So they might come out with a new, I'll put in air quotes, EXP console that's maybe cheaper without the built-in games, or they could be a different set of built-in games. You know what I mean? Like that wouldn't surprise me.
Or a different set of games.
well,
Yeah.
if they do put in a new XP, a better XP, for the love of God, put a power switch on it. That's all. Put a power switch on it.
Here, the problem with having the on-off power switch is that doesn't really. I don't think they'll do that because on that particular device that can be updated via Wi-Fi because then it's just way too easy just to cut the power. So at least with this, where you have to like shut down the device, even if it is in the middle of the update, it won't shut down right away. It'll have time to finish what it's doing. In
But you
order
can
not
still
to
accidentally
corrupt
do
things.
that anyway.
Yeah, the Super Pocket has and like the
Super
OG
Pocket
Evercade-
doesn't. The Super Pocket can't be like updated via
Yes, it
Wi-Fi
can.
or anything.
No,
Via
Wi-Fi.
Wi-Fi.
But it's still like reboots. You just
Yeah,
run the
but you've got
program.
to be really careful. It's going to warn you, like, hey, don't shut off the power. You're going to have it attached to your computer. You know what's going on. It's not like you're doing it on purpose. It's not like where it's working in the background, kind of silently updating things, you know? It's like the same reason when you shut down your Windows computer. You go shut down, and it just doesn't instantly turn off. You're not going to pull the plug from your computer to shut it off. Because that's with the on-off switch. That's kind of what you're doing. You're just immediately cutting the power from it.
So here's what would excite me, Crow. Like, let's say if they did actually make like an Evercade Junior handheld, and what I mean by that is let's say they took the Super Pocket but made it like a little bit bigger to where it's more comfortable. It has like a 3.5-inch screen, or like some of those like Ambernick device, or Powkitty devices that have like that bigger 4x3 screen, something like that, where like there's no built-in games, but it's just like a more comfortable unit with a longer battery life and like a better.
My joke was that they would literally just take the Super
Pocket.
They would just literally take the Super Pocket and just slap Evercade Junior on it.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, like that, like for me, that would be a difference because I think like the Super Pocket is more like, for me anyways, it's more gimmicky than functional hardware. Like it's kind of like a quick pick up and play, but I'm not going to sit there and play like for hours like I would on the EXP. That's all. Yeah, EXP. I'm thinking if they're doing like the Nintendo model, but I think that's possible. But yeah, I think as we always say, it's not going to be what we think it is. I think kind of what you're saying, Pete, was kind of what I was thinking, that there would be hardware to go with the cart. I think that would be
Well,
a
here's
lot
the thing.
more realistic.
If it's not going to be what we think it is, why we bother thinking about it?
No, it's I don't know. It's
I
10.
don't know
It's
because
10,
we're on a podcast.
yeah. It's
We got other things we can
it's
talk
10
about.
It's 10 more. Yeah, but yeah.
No, it's only 8 more. They're including the 2 that's announced.
No, we have a total of 10 collections coming this year.
Yeah, so 2 has already been announced.
Yeah, and the 2
Right,
that are on there that we do know of, those aren't yet out yet.
Exactly.
Yeah, so
that's
that's
the
why
10.
it's 10. So it's 8 more we're getting.
Well,
And I
we're
like how
getting
they just the
Yeah.
other 2 collections. Did they come out this year? The ones
Oh,
before.
it said 12. You're right.
Yeah, we're getting
that's
12.
right.
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah,
was
12.
saying.
So they're not. Why aren't those on the roadmap?
Yeah,
for
exactly.
2024?
Like, what do they don't know?
Yeah.
Did they not know? They're just like putting their finger in the air, going, "Well, we'll just say we're gonna do 12, but come November, we'll have shipping problems. The canal will be broken. We'll delay it all to January anyway."
Yeah.
I mean, the ones that are out
isn't
out
like
already.
here always January? Don't they always end in January anyway?
Yeah, their year is weird.
They're weird. Their year always ends in January.
They're having 2 Julys in this roadmap.
Yeah.
Yeah. But so here, like, hey, Game Freak.
I didn't notice that.
So here's the balance that
November
like Blaze has to like, they have to like strike, and why I say I don't necessarily see a new expensive console, because one of the things that makes Evercade great is its price point.
Well,
No,
I mean,
like
that's
one
all
like
relative.
no, but I mean like it's kind of like
cartridges. Yes.
yeah, that's what I mean. Like,
Their hardware is not that cheap.
no, but like you're competing with the other like handheld devices. You're competing with the Steam Deck. You're competing with a lot of stuff. So if they get too expensive, then it's like,
Well, the Steam Deck is a completely different.
It's a
animal
complete. You
than
can't compare. The Steam Deck is, I'd say, 1,000,000 times better than Evercade. Let's be honest.
Well,
the
yeah,
Steam
of course,
Deck is a portable
quality,
computer, and
The
this is
portability.
like
A Nintendo
Yeah.
Switch is 1,000,000 times better than the Evercade.
right, but
Evercade's a niche product.
but like the general thought of the community is like, hey, like most carts, you get a couple of bangers, you get a lot of bad games and you get fun games, but it's worth it for the price point. Like if you had to pay $5 for each of those games, that's what I'm like it's packaged very well. It's a mixed bag of.
to be fair, some of those games are actually public domain or free.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Like Evercade, what they're selling you on is the convenience and the nostalgia, which is awesome. And they, as long as they stick to that, I'll be good. No, I disagree with that. But I get what he like.
What he means by 1,000,000 times better is the capability of the system.
Yeah, you can do everything on this Switch. Like you can do anything in gaming, right? They have modern games, retro games. They have
some of the games
friend system. They have online multiplayer. It's like the Evercade does one thing.
And like Cathedral, for example,
But
one of the
that's
best games
all it
on
needs
the
to do.
Evercade.
Yeah.
I can get that physically
drinking
on
the
the
Kool-Aid.
Switch too.
Yeah. No, but that's the great thing is that I want the Evercade just to do one thing, which is just
That's what I mean. It does one thing, and we love it for it. I don't think it's more than that. But I mean, it's really only $50. The Evercade XP is only $50 cheaper than a Switch Lite.
Yeah.
In Canada.
Yeah.
But I don't think you
States
can.
$200 plus tax for a Switch Lite, and it's $159 for an Evercade, right?
Yeah.
One thing that I don't think the Switch Lite can do, I don't think you can hook the Switch Lite up to a TV.
No, you can't. No.
I didn't think so.
I mean, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. No, and I was gonna say for the Switch itself, don't even get me started on the Joy-Cons.
Yeah, hey, it's got analog sticks. It's got
it does have analog sticks, which would have made a game like 40 Winks play a lot better.
True.
Maybe that's what they're going to add to the EXP analog sticks, or little PlayStation nubs, the PSP nubs.
Or add you know what they should do? You know that Atari device that they had that plan came out that's got the D-pad, it's got the trackball in it, it's got I don't know if it's a trackball, it's got the spinner and it's got the keypad. Maybe they're going to come out with something like that where it's got everything all built into one.
Hey, no, that's what Ballista. No kidding. I would rather with me, it sounds kind of weird, but I don't and this could be a whole nother podcast, but I don't agree with the direction that Nintendo has taken since they got rid of their advanced 3DS and their Super Nintendo. You know, so like yeah, I like money wise,
direction
yeah,
is
I don't
that?
want to support Nintendo either. So like
They always seem to be going in the same direction. I don't know what had changed
Yeah.
with them.
no, but I don't like a company that contradicts itself, right? That's just like, and
But
that's most,
if you think about it, every company will do that.
no, but like it's kind of kind of again part of the reason I don't like AAA games is I feel like most AAA game companies, they're not like, they don't understand their audience. They just put out crap, and they don't, you know. Like I said, it's a whole
No,
nother.
AAA, they're out there. They're going to try and figure out the way to get the most amount of money from their audience.
Like especially Ubisoft. Like, don't even get me started on, you know, don't even get me started on that. So, you know, I don't know. It's an interesting thing, but that's what I'm saying. Blaze they have to strike that balance between what do we put out? Can we get people to buy money in this ecosystem when there's like so many other options, right? And like a lot of us, like, we love the physical media, but they always have to be careful because, and you kind of like the same reason why like I don't like collect retro games in general, because they're too expensive. So they get to a point where, well, then people could just buy the real carts, or people could emulate other what, you know what I mean? It's like they have to be very careful to stay in that price point. That's all that, you know. That's all that I'm saying.
Well, it's you know, as long as it's, I think the major thing for the Evercade is because it is inexpensive in a way, because even though it is physical media, it is still different than like what physical media used to be. I mean, these cartridges are not the same as like NES cartridges or anything like that. You know what I mean? Even though they kind of do feel like it, internally they're not. You know.
But like what I don't see happening is them coming out with a light game and like a light game gun accessory, because that would be more expensive than like the Evercade VS itself. You know what I mean?
You mean games that require additional hardware?
Yes, like if they said we're coming out with like a Sinden like, and it's like, yeah, they'd have to strike some deal to get that price point to be like at $50 plus the pack. You know what I mean?
I don't know. There still are games that are, I would say, like Street Fighter. Let's say Street Fighter 2 on the Evercade EXP. I can't play that because I don't like how it feels to play with a gamepad like that. I need an arcade stick. So the only way I would have been really able to play that would have been with, you know, I could play it on the Evercade VS with my arcade stick.
You know what so here's what they could do, Crow, which would be kind of interesting. What if they came out with a Street Fighter arcade stick and you plug that into your VS, and then when you do, you can play those Street Fighter. You know what I mean? Like, kind of like
I mean, it's kind of, I mean, why wouldn't I be able to do that now? I mean, if it would be a software update where I would just plug the how do you would I put it in the USB-C port where the power is? If that was possible, that would mean that it couldn't just be used just for power. That would mean
no. It could be like it could be like the Atari Mini, where like, you know, like I think you use like their controller. I didn't watch the full video. I just so like I think like
I don't think it's possible, because I don't think it's like the hardware is wired to be able to read the information from the USB-C port.
They could like there's like a MAC address or something like on the joystick.
Maybe there is. Like I don't know. I never really thought about updating it through that port. And if you could update it,
it wouldn't be. Though, think about it. It would be built into the firmware. It'd be locked in the firmware. You just wouldn't be able to unlock it on your VS console unless you plugged in one of those arcade sticks. And then it would kind of be like, it would recognize, you know, it would kind of be like the key, and then you could play all those games.
Well, it still is a hardware issue. Like if they only wired that port up for charging, and like the CPU doesn't actually read it, then it wouldn't be possible.
But yeah, I'm just saying, like it would be like they could do that, or like a trackball or some other, or a spinner or something else, or they could be the four colors. I kind of like that. So unpopular
what
opinion.
If there was mouse support, then you'd be able to play those games better.
So this is interesting, because I know there's like a certain a member of the community that they do want that retro feel where, hey, you don't have to have any firmware updates and do all that. It was kind of interesting, but the problem though is that Blaze is a small company, so they don't have the resources to do all the testing, even without the community. So you would have carts that would go out that would require updates, and you wouldn't be able to, you wouldn't be able to update. Like even the Super Pocket. Like I'm just talking, like not even features. Like I'm just talking about to be able to play like Cathedral or Donut Dodo.
Well, you know what you could do though? They could put the updates directly onto the cartridges themselves. This is what the PSP used to do. The PSP had hardware updates that would, like, say you bought a new game.
That's what I've been
And-
saying.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. You know who's been saying that for the longest time is Pete.
Yeah,
Yep.
but that's what the
Nobody
PSP
listens
used
to
to
me,
do.
though. I'm just a naysayer.
Because
Okay.
back then, not everybody could hook their PSP up to the internet and download the firmware, so they just put it on the cartridge or the discs themselves, the UMDs.
Hey, Polygon Trios. I think it is. No, I wish I had. No, believe me, they don't tell me. They don't tell me anything. Okay, so like the last time, and I could be that I think Blaze reached out is when they did like that for something inclusive when they did that showcase like a few years ago, and there was that challenge, and me and Rich were kind of. I think that was like the last time. Believe me, I wish if I had inside info, I would say, hey, there's some awesome things I know about I can't talk about. I would tell you all that, but I don't.
You would tell us that you can't tell us.
I would. No, I was gonna say, because Pete, that Neo Geo X console, didn't you say like they did that? They had like firmware updates on the carts.
Yeah.
Yeah, they should. Yeah, so they definitely should do that, especially with like the Super Pocket becoming more popular and it being offline. I think as long as you don't say that's the only way to get an update. Plus, here's the other nice thing. Let's say let's say 10 years from now, let's say Blaze is no longer in existence and you do need to get to the latest whatever firmware. It'd be nice to have that preserved on the cart somewhere.
Was that a prediction? Blaze is going to be out of business in 10 years?
No, but you know what I mean. Listen, I hope that I'm still like 80 years old and we're still doing all this, like hitting each other over the head with our canes and whatnot. But but you never know, right? Like it's funny because sometimes I think about that. Well,
in the future, I'm going to get myself robot legs.
Oh, I need robot hand. I need robot hands and eyes for being in the computer too long. Yeah, a new hyper. See, that's the thing. They haven't come out with a hyper megatech. Why wouldn't they release both these roadmaps at the same time? Or are they not releasing any hyper megas? I don't know. It's it's kind of.
I can't really see them like what's the hyper megatech roadmap going to be like? Oh, here's our roadmap, and it's going to have 2 question marks on it.
Exactly.
And that's it.
Yeah. That's why I think, because as much as it's a separate company, it's all the same. It's all the same thing. Or what if they rebrand them Evercade Junior? That would be funny.
I was trying to act like they were this different companies, and then I got my hands on the Super Pocket, and it's like, okay, in Evercade, stuff is just plastered all over that place, over that thing. Yeah, you don't need the Evercade stuff, but yeah, it plays Evercade stuff so well. It's like, why not just call it an Evercade?
Yeah. I do want to go back because I like what Pete said when we think the other cards. Here's one thing I say that of all the big companies, I want to say that I think Konami would be the most realistic, and I'll tell you why. For one reason only, and that's because they did give out their license to Dead Cells to do that DLC expansion, right? They gave full permission, redoing the soundtrack, really going all out. Like there was no holding back. They allowed that license to happen. So and that's recent. I want to say maybe because of that. Well, I think.
Also, Konami has been putting out stuff. I've seen. It's probably on PlayStation and Xbox as well. But they've been putting out stuff on Steam that is more reminiscent of their earlier stuff, and there's no physical copy of it. There was a game called Skull Attack or something like that. I think I have it. I just haven't played it yet. But that kind of looks as a reminder of an older game. And if the Evercade could handle something like that, I could see something like that maybe as a 1-game only cartridge.
Oh my God, Jason! That you know what? That wouldn't really be new hardware, but that would be a troll. If they had Hyper Megatech exclusive cartridges.
I don't think that'll happen.
No, that would be the ultimate troll. That would be.
And besides, if it was Hyper Megatech, they're claiming that this has nothing to do with Hyper Megatech.
Has Blaze said that, or are people saying that? Because
no, people from Blaze have said that this roadmap is Evercade only. Evercade only, not Hyper Megatech.
Okay.
And it's something I would have missed too, but it's apparently they've mentioned it in the general section of their Discord, which is not a section I generally hang out in.
I hate when that happens because I feel like that information gets lost. Like if they're going to say stuff like that, why wasn't that should have been in this blog post? Why didn't they say?
Yeah, they should have posted it as part of the announcement.
Yes.
But people started questioning it, and they in the general section, and that's where they responded to it.
So that's kind of an interesting thing about Blaze. When with stuff like when I see that like there's like quality control things missed or stuff like this missed, I don't know if it's genius pre-planned or if it's just disorganization on their part or a little bit of both. You know what I mean?
don't think they planned on releasing stuff that doesn't quite work right. I don't think anybody plans that.
No, but like something just like Donut Dodo not working on the Super Pocket, like that is a huge miss. Like how come nobody caught that? You know what I mean? Like that's it's not like a bug. It's like, hey, the game you couldn't map the control didn't work. Like really, there's none of the testers and nobody at Blaze thought to pop in that part.
Well, it's an Evercade release, not an Hyper Megatech release.
Well, yeah, but then see, and that kind of goes back to what we're saying though. Is it just like Blaze just like puts out the Super Pockets? Like there you go. If stuff doesn't work,
I mean, the fact they may have known, but the fact that it's not an Evercade device, they said, okay, well, we'll just fix it later. It's because it's not necessarily meant 100% to be played on that device. We could just claim that most of the games work.
Okay, DF, good to know. Okay, so then if we take the like Super Pockets out of the equation, yeah, I could see that it's a companion that goes with the games. You know, that's a high probability. But does Blaze? I don't know. People have wanted like joysticks and things like that, but I wonder if Blaze wants to dive into that because we've asked for those type of things for a long time. The great thing I
just don't see the whole demand for joysticks or anything from Blaze just because you could already buy a joystick and plug it into the VS and play it with a joystick. You don't need them to make it one.
Yeah. I think it would have to be a spinner or a trackball, and maybe there's some new games that support.
They don't even need to make that. They could just include support for it.
Agreed.
For some device that already exists, and I'd be just as happy.
So I like branded stuff though.
If I put on my business, that's why if I put on my business hat, that's what I'm saying. Like it's I think that they're going to be maybe rebranded EXPs and VSs. Or maybe do the licensing or a reskin or something else where they could just get a bunch of money real quick. I don't like, let me put it this way. As much as I love Blaze with all the, let's say, stumbles and issues that they had with getting the EXP out, I don't think they have the resources to come out with a new console right away when they're still working on it. I could be wrong. They could just say, screw it. You know, we'll fix that while we work on this. It uses the same firmware.
Or how about this? Simply put, just mouse and keyboard support. You could plug in any USB mouse, any USB keyboard into there. It seems like that would be like the easiest thing for them to provide support for.
Yes. Been saying that for the longest time. Hey, Philippe. Oh, you know what? I wonder if they see. That's what I wonder. Not if they're like. That's why I say it could be just like an EXP 2.5, kind of almost like with the purple one. Like there's little bits of upgrade, like a Nintendo does. Like maybe it has a replaceable battery. You know, kind of like with the OLED. Maybe it's. See, I don't know if that'd be too expensive, like an OLED EXP. Maybe it's something like that. You know. But I think this, if anything, I think the one thing we can be certain of, I think this new hardware is going to be more of a tease. It's not going to be what we think or as awesome as it's going. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. The more you speculate, the more you're going to be disappointed by what they come out with.
Yeah. I think it'll be like, hey, we have I think what you said, Crow, like, hey, it's an EXP. It's like an EXP 2.5 available in these 4 new colors. And the battery's removable.
I think you're putting words in my mouth. I just said an EXP with new colors. I didn't say anything about being upgraded or anything.
No, but I was saying because like only reason I say removable battery is because the new compliance standard, like going forward. I mean, because I would assume it costs like a certain amount of money to change the mold of everything, and maybe
technically you can. Technically, I can remove the battery if I wanted to.
No, EXP. But there's like a new law being see, like on the Steam Deck, but it's kind of like you have to make it like it's a vague law that says like accessible, so maybe they want to make it easier.
Hey, you got a screwdriver? It's accessible.
Sunsoft Arcade Collection. Oh my god. Yeah, Crow would already say, but you know, no more. No, no, I kind of agree with that. like
yes, well, no, I agree. C64 cards, but at least by people other than Usin and Epix. I think they might have run that well dry, maybe a little bit. Maybe there's more Usin stuff they could come out with. But
yeah, and your warranty. That's what I mean. Like there aren't like put it this way, like the console doesn't easily have more anticlimax.
Get Electronic Arts C64 stuff.
That'd be awesome.
That's what I want to see.
Let's put it this way. I'll make a bold statement. I don't think that Blaze could ever come out with something that would be like the hype of the VS console. You know what I mean? Because that was something new. That was something innovative. Having the dual cart slots like that, that really blew me away. Like I don't think you can they could recapture lightning in a bottle again. Sure, we could be excited about stuff, but I don't think they can get to that level of excitement.
Okay, that means that the next time they have a showcase, I don't want to see you getting all excited.
Well, I can still get excited, but I'm just saying for hardware, right? Let's put it this way, and that's why it goes back to saying, I think most people like myself, we just see hardware great. Now it's another expense. I just want good games, and I just want to be able to play the current games. I don't, the new hardware really doesn't get me excited as much. Just the games. Unless the only other thing is, unless for some reason they've been secretly working on a Saturn or some other higher end emulation consoles, and there has to be a newer console for the horsepower. But again, I doubt that. I don't.
Yeah, I don't see that happening for several years. They're good with what they got for what games they're providing access to.
Yeah, exactly. And they even said that their vision was to go up to the PS1 era.
Fine, perfectly fine.
Yeah. And that's kind of what I want too.
Give us some Neo Geo games or TurboGrafx 16 games or something,
Oh my God, yes. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. SNK, I would think, I don't know how they have so much, they might have their own devices, but to your point, Crow, Konami, they own TurboGrafx, so I could see us getting that.
Yeah, there's that, and it seems like it should be relatively easy to get games from SNK.
Yes.
They have Sunsoft. Sunsoft put out at least a few Neo Geo games. In fact, that's why I thought the Galaxy Fight was going to be a Neo Geo game.
Yeah, I know. That's kind of weird. But I think the licensing, though, that's what it. I don't know how much it costs for that BIOS or even the UniBIOS. Yes, that's. I'm like, the Blaze ecosystem's been around for 3 or 4 years now, and it's like, yes, give us Neo Geo and TurboGrafx. That, especially those two things would put them on the market because all they would have to do is send them out there to some of the bigger YouTubers that collect Neo Geo, collect TurboGrafx, and have them compare it to that would create a lot of hype and interest. Especially the Neo Geo cart, you can buy an AES console for $500. Sure, yes, that's expensive. That's more than as much as a modern console, but it's the games, right? That are thousands of dollars. If they could do that, I think that would be so much. I do like how they do these calendar announcements, but yeah, or Sega. I would think with the mini console being out for a while, that would be a win. But yeah, Super Graphics Collection.
Yeah, stuff that they haven't done already. Do we need another collection that has a number on it other than 1? I mean, we're already up to 4 with Pico.
If they want to do, if they want to do an oddball, what I think would be fantastic is if they did do a Valtrex collection and they had the they have the overlays. Not that you could build emulate.
You mean a Vectrex collection?
Yes.
Which I don't really know about that. Other than it being having its own screen with vector graphics, that's the kind of thing that's really more impressive in real life, rather than being emulated.
I don't know about Vectrex. If they I think they could do stuff just on the EXP with Vectrex because you can fake the screen overlays, right?
Thank you, Pete.
Well, there's that, and then every game would be played in Tate mode because that is the orientation of the screen.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's other than it just being vector graphics, everything on the Vectrex was kind of like a ripoff from something else.
Yeah. See, and that's I think people have this consensus they just got that's what I mean. I feel they've gotten to Blaze has gotten to the point where now people are aware of the VS. Now would not. It would be too. It's kind of like when TurboGrafx came out with their CD-ROM system way too quick and it was too expensive, and they didn't let that library build up for the TurboGrafx.
Sega? Did you say Sega? Because they weren't even the first ones.
No. The TurboGrafx CD system. Like, yeah.
Yes.
Like they came out.
Well,
with
here's
that
the thing.
The
thing is, like in Japan, NEC and the TurboGrafx there called the PC Engine was a completely different beast. So they had tons of CD games for that.
Yes.
That we never even would see.
Yeah. No, because like Sega Lord X did a great video. He's kind of done the series called like Let's Save the TurboGrafx, and it's like total like fantasy, but it's like he kind of basically like the flaws and kind of what they did. Like they had like bad packing. Like they didn't have Bonk as like a packing game. They released their TurboGrafx CD like way too quickly. They didn't bring a lot of sports over. They didn't like translate a lot of the good Japanese titles. That was kind of on my brain.
But they did have Johnny Turbo. And if
how do you guys feel about? If it was like, how do you guys feel about like a Halloween or Christmas themed cart? Yeah, I would welcome that.
No,
you're like no.
Too busy trying to like how many Halloween themed games, Christmas themed games are there?
Since Scratch really wants to know Darius or Truxton. I don't know. Dude, that's hard. They're both great shooters.
I think I would go with Darius because a lot of those games were ultra widescreen, but so that wouldn't translate very well.
Wisdom Tree cart. Okay. Yeah. I figured, Pete. Sorry, we're setting telephone.
There you go. Darius burst.
But I think what it's gonna be, typically what Blaze has done, and that's why I said like a new skin, and I'll even put Super Pockets in this category. It's like it's kind of like a win more. Like I think what they're going to with one exception, I think what they're going to release isn't going to be like you have to buy this accessory. I think it'll be something like it could be like an arcade stick, or it could be to go with like a collection that plays. Like if it was like a spinner collection. I don't think it's going to be like you have to get this, but I still think like if the EXP and the VS are being discontinued, they have to have something to replace it. So that wouldn't,
Well, that would be the only reason they are discontinuing it. It's because that's why they we're discontinuing, like that video where they're like, we're discontinuing the Evercade. And I was like, so you're coming out with a new Evercade. Yes. So it's the only reason that they would discontinue it.
Yeah. I think that cat, like here's what would be real. They could come out with like a special, okay, here are the 4 slots. And I know this will be like very underwhelming, but if I'm being realistic, there's going to be a Taito EXP, a limited edition Taito EXP. There's going to be a limited edition like Capcom EXP that's going to like be all themed and all that, because the EXPs that we know of is going away with the Capcom license. And then the other slot is going to be the new EXP, which is just like a $100 version of it without Capcom. And
okay, here's the thing. I'd be kind of annoyed if they did that.
Oh yeah,
because here's the thing: it's like,
and then an arcade stick.
The reason I have the Evercade is because they're releasing the games on cartridges.
Oh yes.
So why have the hardware have games that I can't play on other hardware?
Because it's kind of silly, right?
Because it's more money. And then I'm telling you, I wouldn't be surprised if they came out with like a Street Fighter arcade stick that when you plug it into the EXP, then it unlocks the games that are like already in the firmware that you download, and you can, and then once you plug it in once to your VS, then you wouldn't always have to have it plugged in. It'll be something like, I wouldn't be surprised.
I think you would. I think if that's the case, you would always have to have it plugged in, because these aren't free games they're offering. They have to make sure that you own it. So, what would be to prevent you from plugging it in and then all of a sudden, selling off the other device and keeping the game? You
could do that, but like in this global economy, everybody is spread out everywhere, and you're not going to ship. You'd have to like know somebody in the same. It would be it would maybe be like 10 people. It would be like a very small percentage.
No, I don't think they would do that. They would have to make sure you own the game to play it. Because having that.
Has anyone played? It's not a cartridge. Yeah, you know what? It's funny that you say that, Jason, because I feel like a lot of those games get lost. Like I forget it. Like I forget about like the main reason I remember the Taito games is because I usually don't have a game in there, and that's what's built in.
Yeah, I don't know. I played my Capcom games quite a bit actually on the XP, because I take my XP when I go on holidays or extended drives or whatever where I'm going. So I play them. It just allows me to have another, pile of games and one cart.
Oh,
And I don't play them a whole lot because I play primarily on the VS.
There's one bit of hardware that would get me super excited. I doubt like hell Blaze will do it. If they actually they turned it on. If they did this clamshell form factor with and made it with a 3-inch screen, because the 3-inch screen will fit. If they did this, then oh my god, that I would be like, take my money. That would get me super excited, because like the nostalgia of being able to put it into your pocket, like that would be awesome. But then discontinue the EXP line. Come out with this. Put a 3-inch screen. Don't change a damn thing. Just do this.
No, I wouldn't want that.
That would get me excited.
I'd rather have the old GBA model, not the flip top. Flip one's so uncomfortable.
It is, but for me though, like the Super Pockets, like this is more comfortable than the Super Pocket, which is surprising.
I could see both. I could see them being equal for sure for comfort, but for both crap. For comfort.
Well, for me, like the specific use, like it might be more for me, but my specific use case is I'd like something that I could put in my pocket, not have to worry about the screen, have it be as small as possible.
What about the Super Pocket?
That's still like too big in my opinion.
It's Super Pocket. It can fit in your pocket.
And nobody is making a case for it that like fits flush with it. But they are coming. Is it like Ambernick or somebody teased? They are coming out with a device that's in the GBA form factor. That's a new emulation handheld. So that that might fit the gap for what for what I want. But it's interesting, right? Like the reason I say use case is because like around that, like for me, like for a handheld, I either want it to be something that like I'm going to play around would love, but I'm going to play around the house like Steam Deck, right? That's something I'm not you could bring with you, or like the EXP. Those don't go with me travel, like those stay in the house. But like a Super Pocket, I would be, because for me, like those smaller devices, they're not meant to, and maybe for a lot of
it seems like you want the device to be smaller and the screen to be bigger.
Let me put it this way, like a Super Pocket, in my opinion, it's not like, if you're already in the Evercade ecosystem, it's not meant to be played for hours on end due to the screen size and just the uncomfortableness. What it is for is like go traveling, like bringing it on vacation, where you can play it in spurts. Like it's great for that. Like that's what it's designed for. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I think there might be a market for this. Maybe not. I don't know. But I was like, if they were going to do something new with a different form factor, Evercade TARDIS. Oh, that would be hilarious. That'd be hilarious. Actually, that wouldn't surprise me, because that's very much a very popular British show. Yeah, no, I know that's probably why you said that. Something Playdates. Yeah, see, that's what I mean. It's like there's certain Super Pocket lives in my back. So yeah, that's the thing. I think the people who are using maybe their Super Pocket as their main, if you're not as much into the Evercade, I don't know, or you just like you pick it. But again,
I don't know how you're going to make it any smaller and still keep the same number of buttons.
Sounds like a future poll. Yeah, but I'm fine with, like, right now there's not many games that use all these Evercade extra buttons. I mean, yeah, we have a couple play. I'm fine with them calling it like a light, not having all the extra buttons. Or they could do, they could do what they did with Cathedral on the OG Evercade, where it's a little bit annoying, but you have to like hold select and press a button, So they could.
Here's the thing: it's like if they were going to come out with a device that had a handheld device that had fewer buttons, they would have already done it already with the Super Pocket, because they've already included way more buttons on those things than you actually needed for the games that were included.
Yeah. They're trying to future-proof it, but I'm just saying, like for hardware, because like for me the use cases, like I've been playing like mainly my Everkit a lot, especially I've been like streaming a lot more, or I've been playing it like in the guest room on the VS, so I haven't been playing it in handheld mode as much. So that's why I'm like, even a bigger screen, I don't, you know what I mean? Like I feel like if I had something like this size, I would maybe bring it with me more places. I don't know, maybe not. It's just
I know what it's going to be. It's to address your screen size issue with the Super Pocket. They're going to come out with that attachment that you could get with like the Game Boy that was like a magnifying glass you would catch on the clip on the front.
Well, it's kind of fun. It's like even if like yes, there's like attachments to play the EXP and Tate mode, which is great. Again, around the house, that's great. But then, so it's kind of like you have to just. It's like with the devices, like you have to decide how portable are they. But then again, even something big like the Steam Deck, it's not like unportable. Like what I mean, like when I've gotten to, let's say, get like an oil change, I've brought that with me, and like the OG Evercade, like in a bag, right? But that's if I know I'm going somewhere. If it's like, and I'm going to be sitting for a long time. What's neat about like the Super Pocket or something else, if you know, like if you're like, hey, maybe I'm standing in line, I want to whip something out and play it. You know what I mean? And then you can have like it be like really loud and everybody can.
Well, okay, the reason
True.
I never really have carry around like the handhelds or anything is because if I need to be entertained, my phone already does a really good job of doing that for hours on end. I don't really need another device. Now, if I wanted to specifically play that, I would need that, but I don't specifically need to be entertained by specific things all the time.
Yeah. So it's interesting, but I think I wouldn't be surprised if the new hardware is a different variant, of the EXP and the VS due to the licensing, especially the EXP. Yeah, and that's with like that's the thing. Like I haven't used it in a long time, which kind of irritates me because something like Legendary Wings, like I would love to be able to play that on the VS, kind of for that reason. And kind of just like the Taito games, I would like to be able to play them on like on the VS for that reason. It's funny, I go back and forth. It's weird because my Evercade, I mainly play that on a TV on a VS. On my PC games, I play on a handheld. I play on the Steam Deck. So it's, like I don't use that in docked mode. It's kind of, I don't know. It's interesting. But so like I guess like here's it might be a good pull. Like if they did come out with an EXP OLED, but it didn't have any built-in games, and the price was like about the same or comparable, I don't know, would people jump on that? Or would that just be kind of like, you know what I mean?
I don't know if an OLED screen would be enough for people to want to get an EXP.
Yeah, OLEDs are overrated. A nice crisp LCD would be great.
Thank you. Because I thought I was kind of alone because some people have said that like the Steam Deck LCD is horrible, and for me it's great. Like I love the I don't and like the EXP screen, it's very sharp. It's very it's like it's fine. So you know what I mean?
I will say that I do have like the first Vita that had an OLED screen before they replaced it with the. And if you're looking at the screen side by side, the OLED looks better, but is it really enough of an upgrade for something like the EXP to be like, okay, here's a new XP. All we really did was replace it with an OLED screen. It might improve battery life, and it might look a little bit better. But do you really need the image to be that sharp and crisp and everything for those type of games?
Well, I mean, I do, yeah, that's true. And that's where the OLED is kind of.
I mean, some people might be like, I want to get that, but would enough people be willing to buy another EXP just for an OLED screen?
No. That was the only. It was kind of so you bring up an important thing, Kurt. Goes back when they were doing specialists, if the purple. So like if they did come out with just new, like let's say if they did what they did with the purple, let's say if they just re-released an EXP, came out with new colors, like I wouldn't buy that. Like I want to say when they came out with the OG purple, that was at a time where we weren't even sure like how many special editions are they going to do. This is something, it has a little bit better of a screen. You know what I mean? It was, and now it seems like special editions are a regular thing. So it's
to be honest, the second they released that purple one, it almost seemed like they were going to be doing it all the time. Then
yeah. I think too they were trying to get their feet under them and seeing what would sell for them and what community would take and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
Because that would have been originally on release they were selling like two versions of it, a white one and a black one, and they've done that for everything they've released so far. But then down the line they'd always now we're coming out with another color. I'm just surprised they haven't done it as frequently as they have been. So They have to be doing more color variants. I could see more color variants. I wouldn't be surprised if some of these new hardware things were actually just color variants.
I don't think it is. I think it's actual real new hardware.
Yeah, I mean, like, it depends on how you look at it. When you say new hardware, is it literally new hardware, like a device we haven't seen before? Or are they just saying that a recolored Evercade EXP is new hardware?
I don't know. That's why we
Yeah.
don't have a clue, right? So they've been.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
I don't know when we'll know, to be honest with you. Right? Whenever they
I
feel
guess-
like they can give us the information, they will.
Probably July, unless they delay it.
Yeah, and that's like, and that's the thing is that we still like, what it's like the end of May and we haven't gotten their showcase, and I think that's the most frustrating thing with Blaze is this the consistency. Like if it's like, hey, sometime like if they would just say like, hey, we're gonna have the showcase at this time consistently every year, then the hype would build up, people would be excited, and I don't know why they don't do that.
I solved the puzzle. Look at this. 2 new cartridges July. 2 new hardware July.
Glow in the
2
Dark
new
edition.
cartridges this November. 2 new hardware November. Whatever they come out with in July, they're gonna have like when they came out the Dukes, they had a new Evercade VS that was rethemed, new color. So whatever game comes out in July is going to have new hardware variations to go with it.
Yeah.
Same thing in November.
I was thinking that, or what if they?
That's going to be my bet.
That's what I said. They're going to package them together.
Yeah, but not only that, but like not just packaging, but it's going to be a like an already existing EXP and an already existing VS, just rethemed for those games.
Yeah, I think it's going to be similar, but it's going to actually be a new hardware piece.
At this point now that I'm looking at it with cartridges in July and new hardware in July, I'm doubting it's new hardware. I think it's just color variants to go with those cartridges.
But they just do colors. I mean, good for them. I don't know if it'll sell because they haven't sold out on their latest colors and limited editions really quickly, right?
Except the Duke. That's why
the Duke was different.
Which might be why these whatever's coming out in July and November is maybe really big for them, and they're willing to do a retheming.
What's bigger than Duke? That's in the retro world.
Maybe.
What if it's something Sega? What if it's Sonic the Hedgehog?
Sega. Oh my God, yes. Yeah, like they had like a Sega cart and like a Sonic the Hedgehog themed like EXP.
Yeah, majority of people. Sonic's not as big as certain things. I guess I don't know.
But same thing could be said with Duke.
Most people only ever played Sonic in the green fields. They haven't played anything past that.
But Sega is one of those. But Sega is one of No, I think you're onto something with that, Kroger. Sega is one of those things that are people that will buy everything Sega, like no matter what.
What if one of them's a Konami one, and we wind up with Castlevania themed EXP and VS?
Oh my God. Okay, that might be tempting to do.
Well, Limited Run would get pissed off.
Well, who cares about what they think?
Yeah, no one.
No, they wouldn't get pissed off. You know why? Because they've always claimed that after their runs are over, they would never go back to them, and it didn't matter if anybody else came out with the same thing again. That was literally what they had said. So if they get mad about it, then they'd just be more hypocritical about it.
Here's the only one thing that I think will disappoint me, and I think that would disappoint a lot of other Evercade fans if they come out with that new XP console that is like a Castlevania theme, but there's no Castlevania cart. It's see here with me personally.
I really don't think they do that.
No, but just like they did at the Capcom, I'm at the point where I almost really don't want to support non-cartridge devices that Blaze brings out because it goes I don't want them to do the arcade 1-up model. It goes against the whole foundation of Blaze. So it's it's frustrating.
I'm almost convinced now that these new hardwares are just rethemes.
Oh, you know what, dude? We're gonna get the Beast Wrestling in the director's cut.
You laugh, but people like that game.
I know. Oh, you know what? Yeah, Data East Arcade Collection 2 and Technos. There's still plenty. There's more they could do with that. Here's a question: if they made a Taito with the Super Pocket? No, I don't think they'd be pissed off. Oh, the owners. I think with the company. if they made a Taito, so
No, I don't think so. In fact, I'm still wait. I'm almost expecting for those games to be released on a cart.
Here's the thing. If you Gene Joke, if you just have said if they made a Taito theme EXP, no. But I think just if they make a VS anything, okay, if they make a VS anything where you have to buy a new VS and the games are like bound to that, I think that'll piss everybody off. Like that would make me mad. Like really, like come on. Because the VS isn't like it's kind of like the reason why those games are there is so you can have more games to bring with you on the go, versus like when you have a console that's hooked to your TV, you're not. Yeah, they need to make that a card.
This. You can play more games on the VS than you can with the handheld.
Yeah, I'd be fine if they want to put the Taito games on an EX like on another portable. Fine, I don't really care. But yeah, if they need to come out with that card though, if they do that, because it's just like. I don't know because here's kind of it's like we kind of saw the backlash and it was exciting that we got new hardware. I don't know, and then I think people like myself kind of go to okay, well you focused all your time and energy on coming out with like a new device with built-in games, but yet when the new cart comes out, we still have day one patch. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of the frustration like on both ends. And I think what's even more frustrating is Blaze doesn't say anything about that. Like they don't explain to us why. Like, I kind of missed that when Sean would come on and be like, oh, well, we're going for, well, here's what was kind of funny. Remember when Sean came on, like the last time, I think he was on Evercast, he said that like the market is going to like those bigger type of like handhelds. And then they do the opposite and come out with the Super Pocket. So like, that's kind of funny.
Well, they didn't come out with the Super Pocket. That was Hyper Megatech.
Well, yeah, but it's the same.
Global Hyper Meganet.
It's the same thing. Yeah, because the whole magic and the secret sauce to this is the fact that we get physical carts, and I think as long as Blaze doesn't lose their way for that, then I think we're good. As long as they don't come out with a new console where it's like, hey, the only way you can play these carts are on this new console or hidden behind it, like digitally built into the console, then it's kind of frustrating.
Yeah, I think that now that I think about it, it's like the new hardware, either color variants that correspond with the games or accessories that those games can take advantage of.
Yeah. Yeah, and it kind of goes back kind of what you said. I think in the beginning, Pete. Yeah, anybody who doesn't criticize or anybody who's completely happy with this like chart, like they've drunk the Kool-Aid.
Well, I wasn't even like, honestly, I didn't like. I saw that. I was like, what's there to talk about? There's nothing. I left a comment on my YouTube page. That was it.
You were so literal, Crow. But it's, yeah. I mean, if like their plan was to like have for us like, hey, let's put it big as possible. We know like it's a troll. Like yeah, they're just gonna they're gonna speculate and we're gonna see.
Like somebody commented, people were asking for a roadmap, so this is their roadmap.
Yeah. But I think we were asking like for a more not only that, but we've said many times like don't just give us the question marks. Give us the question marks with the color. Like please, at least do that.
Like, I can understand if maybe the last two, like all these were filled in and we knew what everything was, and maybe the last two were question marks. That'd be fine. They're planning on stuff that they can't mention. But when the whole thing is literally question marks,
yes,
what information is there?
Gene joke. Yeah, I'm happy. I didn't expect anything else. Yeah, you know what? It's like I don't know. It's kind of like somebody's like called to the stand to testify, and they're like, "I plead the Fifth Amendment." Like, really? Generic statement. I don't know. They're like, I feel like they're like pleading the Fifth. Like, here's a minimum. I wish I don't know. There was like an arrow, something teasing. But they did say they were getting some bigger IPs. So then it's kind of like, you know what? I think as long as they do that, again, we do get like a Sega or we do get a Konami. I mean. In cart form, then I think people won't really care what's hidden behind this hardware as long as they can make everyone else happy. Like splitting the community, that's kind of a big deal. Well, for Doom, I think that would be another. Yeah, I think if they did like a Doom or Wolfenstein, yeah, that would be like another like big IP, or Namco, dude. If they release like an arcade collection of Namco, which is just like the classic, like the classic like arcade, like your Dooms, your Pac-Man, and that Doom. I mean, they do.
Well, if they get Namco back, then we can actually play our Namco cartridges on the VS.
Yeah. Well, but licensing is funny, right? Because like those particular collections you can get to their platform, so it's like fine, maybe they're able to like negotiate like a new deal. Yeah, more purple carts. Yeah, yeah. No, it's funny because I don't know if you'll remember, but like initially, like back like when the OG handheld was conceived, they were like, I think Blaze. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think Blaze said at some point they planned on having like arcade versions, but they couldn't do it right away, and that's why they gave us like what they gave us. And so that's kind of been something like several years in the making that people have been wanting arcades on the carts for a long time.
I don't know if that's exactly was planned. Let's see, how many actual console cartridges did we get before the first arcade cartridge?
It's whenever the VS came out because that was packed.
Yeah,
with
well,
cards.
I'm just saying there were 22 cartridges before the first arcade cartridge. 22.
Yeah, there was a lot for sure.
Oh. I'd be happy to see if Namco unlocked licensing for the VS. Yeah, I think that would make a lot of people happy too. Yeah, that's what one of the pieces of the hardware is. It's a it's like a little Pac-Man, like a cool like little Pac-Man thing you can display on the shelf, and it has a USB port, and you plug it in, and it unlocks that. But it's like a cool little figurine. I don't know if they did that when I had like mixed feelings about that. I don't know. I think if it was like something cool you could put on the shelf and it was only like $5 or $10, that might fly. But just the fact that they would do that might make some people mad. Ooh, Genesis Technos collection. A Technosoft collection. Ooh, that would even Okay, that makes more sense now. No. Here's what would be funny, Crow. What if they said, "Hey, new hardware, an Evercade PC reader"? No, they would never do that.
Well, that would be new hardware.
Yeah, it's like I don't think they.
They would never do that because, trust me, that would just allow people to corrupt their cartridges way more than they're already getting corrupted.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, actually. Oh, thank you, because I think Pete said that like earlier in the cast. What if we get like another like full void, or what if we get like an exclusive? Like that's only on the Evercade, at least for a limited time. You know what I mean? Like that would be great too. Like give us something like that.
What, you mean like Duke Nukem Remastered?
No, like Blaze actually like hired like another like indie studio to make like a single game, like a really good like single game cart that's only available on the Evercade. Like it has,
You mean like the Duke Nukem Remastered collection?
But that's a yes, but their own original game though. Like that, you know what I mean? Like Duke Nukem isn't like they didn't come up with Duke. That's the closest thing. But yeah, something like that, but like their own, I don't know, some cool like roguelike or I don't know, like their own version of like Dead Cells or Metroidvania. It's just something neat. I don't know. It could be something simple that's just really addictive to play, or it could be like like they contracted some studio to do something like a full void. I don't know. Maybe they're testing.
Well, doesn't that kind of like go contradict what the Evercade was already like created for? To play older games that already existed?
No, if it was like a modern indie. Oh, here's another thing that they could do too. Because I think was it Eugene Joke or Jason that said like a C64 like controller. What if and this may be exciting to some or disappointing. What if the new hardware in July is like an Atari, like an official like Atari, like some like official Atari stick that works, and then we get a new Atari collection that's like a 400 800 like the 400 800 mini, and we get hardware to go with it. It could be something like that. I don't know. Maybe they're jumping on that bandwagon.
I don't know about that.
You never know. And then we have this late November. That's before Christmas. Before Christmas. If we were to get some type of like new like technology console, we would maybe see that more towards December because that gives them more of the year to develop it. If we were to see something like that. An Atari C64. Yeah, that's what I was kind of talking about. Yeah, that would suck monkey balls. Yeah, I know. But I think
I think the ones that came with those. You know what? I got that. I did get that. I do have this Atari 400 Mini. I got it yesterday, and now I'm wondering if that joystick that came with it will work on the Evercade.
Dude, you should test that.
I might test it right now.
Yeah, because that has like the extra buttons on the side that you can set for menu.
Oh, you know what blew my mind with that thing? It looks like a regular Atari CX40 joystick,
Yes.
but instead of just one button, it has 8 buttons.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
But I didn't know this.
Yeah, you got those
joystick with this thing.
Yeah, plug it in and see if you can map it.
Well, I need to find the joystick first. Where did I put it?
Damn YouTube and its algorithms. Well, there's a bunch of people on, so maybe they
I actually need to turn
an
the lights
RST
on.
maybe.
I don't know where.
Maybe though. Yeah, but I think that yeah. Aw. But don't you want to support us just for I don't have ad block at all like on any YouTube stuff I watch. It'd be kind of contradictory if I didn't, because I don't mind you. I will say I don't mind YouTube ads as much because I know it supports other creators.
I might as well just leave the light on.
Atari,
yeah, I was actually.
It could be.
I didn't realize that on this thing that these on the top ring were buttons. I didn't know that until I started.
So
until I accidentally touched it and it clicked, and I was like, "What?"
Yeah. So do we think at the end of April that we're going to find out what this July update is? Is that what we're hoping?
I think we'll find out in July.
But you think they'll wait until? So we have to wait until I don't know. I thought. Correct you if I'm wrong, but usually once the new carts do come on, I guess they do come out the end of April. So maybe technically it's the end of April. We'll find out July, which kind of sucks.
Okay, well the joystick's not working immediately,
and that's why it's interesting. Like sometimes, I don't know. So all of us are wanting the hype. So if July does get leaked, then I won't feel bad. Because we want to know, right? I think we really want to know. Yeah, they said soon. So yeah, what do they mean?
I click on the button and when I'm doing the button remapping thing, and it says Retro Games Ltd. The CX Stick, which is exactly what this is. So
you recognized it.
Yeah, and I think I just have to remap it, and I think it'll work.
See if that. Oh, dude, that would be killer.
A, B, what do I want for B? I don't know.
I want to say those are what, $20-$25, so they're not too horrible.
What, the joystick by itself? I don't know. Because I thought that it came with just a USB version of the regular stick. I didn't realize that it had all this extra stuff. Oh shoot, I don't know what I mapped that button to, but
whoops.
Oops.
Actually, I'll look here.
And I don't think there's enough buttons to map all the buttons on it.
I'm looking at Atari's website because if that does work.
Start.
I thought I saw somewhere where it was where you could buy.
Well, there's definitely not enough buttons, but
okay. I wonder if they should make a feature like. Oh, okay, actually, no. It's $29. It's $29.99.
On it, I think it works. I'm gonna.
Yeah. The CX stick, yeah. But still, that's pretty cool. So yeah, a lot of the compatibility is there. I should put a shoulder button on it. But the thing so one piece of hardware I wouldn't mind them having if they did make a controller with analog support, just because then we could plug in anything. I wouldn't buy that because I already have an Xbox controller, but that would just be kind of nice, right? If they would just go ahead and add that, if they would add that type of support to it, you know what I mean? That would be.
I think I'm loading up Food Fight.
Oh, okay, so we're waiting on that. So I want to give a quick update, on the Duke saga, kind of.
Guess what? It works.
It does
works just fine. Yeah.
Woohoo!
You just have to remap it.
Is that still going on?
Yeah. So over the last week, I was emailing Video Games Plus back. They responded, and actually they even apologized for being slow. They sent that out to their testers, and then every couple of days I was emailing them, and they said, sorry for the delay. But here's what's interesting, and I'm glad they asked me this. They said, hey, because I said, what's the status on getting my cart replaced? At this point, they have both of them back, and they have my money, so they have to give me something. They said, hey, would you like the testers to go ahead and open the cart and test it before they send it to you? And I said, yes. I said, could they? I said, and I responded back, and I said, could they do that? Could they write save states to it, and could they play it for at least an hour? Because that's like when mine crapped out. And they said that they said they would over the weekend. They said they're closed tomorrow because of Good Friday. So that'll be neat. I hope so. What I'm hoping, and when I get that cart, I'll do live, and I'll open it live, and I'll put it in there, and I hope I see save states and all that.
Well, did you tell them to keep the save states because they might just?
I didn't think I had to. Like, listen, if they open it, because they wanted my permission. I'm like, yeah, I've kind of been wanting them to do that. Just kind of like, I don't know if you've ever had an issue where like you've bought like a CD that was bad, like from Walmart, and then you go play it and it doesn't work, and like they kind of look at you weird and they don't want to. I'm like, yes, open it and play it right now and see if it has the same issue. I've had that happen. I'm like, yeah, just give me my money.
I don't think I've ever had that
The
kind
weirdest-
of situation where I told them to make sure it works before they give it to me.
The weirdest situation that I had was when I had a Game Boy Color, and I was really looking for it. Like, I got Centipede and all that, but when I opened it up, it had Contra in there, which kind of looking back, I almost kind of wish but I wanted the new color thing, and I'm like, they're never going to believe me. And I went back to the store, and they're a little skeptical, and they opened up another Centipede, and sure enough, that also had Contra in it. So they had to open a cup, find one that didn't. So yeah. It was like the
That's
weirdest.
kind of unusual. It must have been. That's kind of really.
It
weird,
was.
actually.
It was a freak thing. Like have an OG Game Boy. Like yeah. And
Wait,
then,
what game was it that you were buying and it had Contra in it?
Centipede.
Wait, was it like? Why would Centipede for the Game Boy?
Game Boy
Advance?
Color. Game Boy Color.
Game Boy Color.
Like long time. Like yeah.
Why would I mean, they must have been at the same factory.
That's what
they must have they screwed it up for a whole batch or something.
It was just the cart because the instruction.
But
Everything
the fact
else
that
is
it's two
Centipede.
totally different publishers and stuff.
Yes, and that's and I when I went back to the store, I was like, I think they're trying to like perform a scam, but then the lady opened another box. I'm like, thank God the other box had it too. Yeah, because that's all I want. Maybe looking back, I should have kept Contra, but no, I really wanted to play Centipede. I use 8-bit controllers. Good to know VGA do the fun stuff. Yeah, so like I will like definite like the thing is VGA like they've always responded. Like you might just have to nudge them a little bit because I would imagine they're very busy, but at least they've always apologized and said, hey, sorry for taking so long.
This is probably the one you're using.
Yeah.
But
they've been in, even though I've had to initiate it, they've been in communication. Like they haven't I've had much better support from Video Games Plus than I have Fun Stock. Because there've been plenty of times where I've sent emails and like that time when Indie Heroes was late. Like I really had to like pester them. They're like, we'll look into it, and I never heard back. So and what's interesting is that like there's like when I do get a conversation going, I'm like, hey, what's the status? And then they're like, would you like us to test it? And then I said that they're like, great, we'll let you know next week. So I will get an instant reply once their eyeball is on my email chain. And I'm sure they have different people supporting it and all that.
They said they'd look into it. They never said they were going to get back to you.
But like they do that. Like it's not like I send an email and then they wait like another 3 days. It's like once we have that conversation going, then they get back to me. But yeah, they've never just said no. It's kind of unfortunate that it takes this long. And if it was a game that I really liked a lot more. But then here's the hell of it though. I play
most of the Evercade games with.
Oh, sweet. But here's the hell of it though. Once what got me into it, that was actually you, Pete. Once I saw how much fun and when you made video and how the Duke was different, then I really wanted to play it. I think like how the controls were better on the 2D Advance than they were on the PlayStation because it was designed for handheld. So then I got into it, was having a lot of fun, turned the gamma down, and then I was like, man.
I told you those games are fun, dude. Like,
yeah.
I'm a smart cat.
but that's what's great though. Like, that's why I'm glad we all have like varying opinions. Enjoyed like Full Void and got into that, and so it's neat to be able to do things. So but had that been Duke 1, yes, there would have been like bloody murder to it. Like that. Then I would have been like a lot more persistent. And luckily, it came at a time when we had a bunch of carts, and it was one that I wanted to play. But then, yeah, I kind of missed that. But anyways, yeah, that will be that. I will do live because I want to be like I want to show the proof because especially since they already opened it, like I don't want there to be any and I want it to work and be fine. And then I can.
Here's the question: are you gonna play the game before I do?
That's true. That's true. Because
which collection is it? Is it Duke Collection 1 or 2?
No, Duke 2.
Okay,
Duke 2. because the other sad thing is now when even though like with the broken cart and with the cart that didn't have one game to work, at least I still had something physically sitting there, and so it's just kind of sad now just knowing my collection's incomplete. I know that might sound weird, but
Well, okay, wait. When you talk about a complete collection, are you talking about all the cartridge variants?
But to me, a complete collection is.
Some people might say a complete collection would include all the variants of the covers and.
That's for me that's ridiculous. A complete collection is you have a copy of the game. You don't have to have all.
What about Full Void? Like both versions of that, at least two different versions of that.
So for me,
technically there would be three because there would be the original standard version of the game would have a PEGI version and a non-PEGI version.
So I'll say this: for me, if you have the numbered cart, it doesn't matter what format it is. Like the Full Void, the special edition has a number on it, right? I think
it's got the same number,
okay,
but
then you're good.
But the special edition actually has more things that were included than.
Well, that's fine. Those are just like trinkets. I think as long as it has the number on it, then you've gotten the collection. Because
I'm just scared. You only bought one version of it, right?
Yeah.
The standard version.
Yes.
You didn't buy the special edition version.
No, because so there's two reasons. I didn't like the light blue. That I thought was kind of weird to me. Like I would have liked white, black, or even like the green and the Taito, and then. I didn't really care about any of the extras. Like there was nothing where I mean, a poster might have been kind of cool, but that's why I didn't get it.
Well, it wasn't anything and an art book.
And that's hit or miss with collector's editions. It's kind of like if you're collecting it for the sake of a collector's edition, that's cool. In a way, I almost maybe kind of regret I didn't buy a few copies of that because now they sell on eBay for $100. But I don't want to be that type of person.
Really? But both versions came with the prologue that you kind of need to read to understand what the hell's going on. But even that, I had issues with the story.
Who's brushing their teeth? I don't. I don't know. So that's kind of the thing.
Oh, I'm sorry. That might be me.
Okay, yeah. Because here's the thing, right? So in addition to the PEGI versions, there's also the German versions that have to have their own. It's an uglier sticker that I know. It's funny they complain. They have. So that's ridiculous. All the different. It's the same game, and that's why I say as long as they have the same number, you're at the end of the day you're playing the same game. That's what I think is complete. If they re-released a Pico 1 collection and it had a new number, then yes, then you would have to get that. But that's my definition. You have a cart with the games on it. I don't care about because I like a mix of PEGI and non-PEGI.
Crow's always making noise, guys. Always making noise. He's got 3D printers in playing Color World or whatever the heck he's playing.
Yeah, and he has a dog, and no kidding.
He's got his game on his thing. It's like you guys couldn't even hear what I was doing in the background. I
could hear you playing some game.
No, I was updating my PlayStation Portal.
Well, I could hear it.
Yeah. I had Guild Wars going for a little bit. For some reason, my Guild Wars account died. And my character that I had made it to level 18 in the main game is all of a sudden gone. I have no idea what happened to him.
He went on vacation.
You talking about the OG Guild Wars?
OG Guild Wars. He's gone. Wow. The character's gone. I'm in Aslan and I'm level 5. I'm like, that don't make sense. I was level 18 last time I played. Stupid game.
I haven't thought about that in years. I wonder if I have my account info for that somewhere. I haven't thought about that in years. That's actually pretty fun.
Yeah, I only started playing it last year, and I said, "Oh man, I might as well just finish Prophecies and be done with it."
What's really funny is I was thinking about Ragnarok Online, and I re-downloaded the game and logged into it just to see if my characters still exist, and they do. My over 20-year-old characters still exist in that game.
Oh, so Genjoke wanted it because of the and that's what wanted it because of the so that's what I mean. There's no get the edition or get the thing that you want. Just whether you get any special edition, whether you had the white or the black face, it doesn't matter. Right, we're the ones whoever owns it is the person playing it.
I would just say because I like the movie Army of Darkness, so whenever a new variant of it comes out, I buy it. So I can have as many variants of the movie as I can, even though it's the same movie.
Yeah.
I think I have it on Blu-ray 3 or 4 different times, because it's all different. Regular standard case, you got a couple different versions of a steelbook version of it. But and I'm thinking of like Atari 2600 collecting because of the cartridges. The cartridges came in different, either
Yes.
just text versions or picture versions. And
Exactly.
sometimes, depending on when they were released, they had different, different artwork.
Or
But
how about like the
but-
the best of collections? Like there's some people that will just go for a set of the best of because they want that
like-
label. That's
Mhm.
But if you're collecting, it kind of does make a difference, though, too, because some variants are worth more than other variants. They're rarer than other variants. So,
Yeah, it's a whole
some people-
slippery slope, man.
yeah, exactly.
yeah. No, Crow isn't in Canada, by the way. So that's interesting that you said that.
He's pretty
Maybe that
close.
was like a
He's not
joke.
far from Canada.
Yeah,
True.
I'm not as close as you think, though, because I'm in Chicago. So I do have to drive through 2 states to get to Canada.
Yeah, it's all right. I'm closer to the U.S. than Crow is to Canada.
That's true.
I'm
funny.
I'm literally 30 minutes from the U.S. border.
That's funny.
It would take me at least 8 hours of driving to get to Canada.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say it takes just a day just to get out of Texas. So
Well, 80% of all Canadian population is within a 2-hour drive of the U.S. border.
Yeah, but you know what? In Texas, your speed limit's a little bit higher than other places. Like, so you can at least drive 75 through Texas, or at least sometimes 85. I think it might be.
Yeah.
oh no, that's a horrible reality, but a great question. What if you're like legacy? So
Here's what you would do: you'd send it to me, and I'd fix it.
yeah, thank you. Yes.
You go on eBay and buy another card for 10 bucks.
Yes. That's yeah.
Because
I like
you
that
only
answer.
need the cart because you already have the most expensive piece, the box.
Because
True.
I have all those carts backed up.
True. Crow's Restoration Services. Yeah, no, true. Go Ontario.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the thing, right? I don't think the Evercade carts were ever built to last. Let's be honest. I don't.
Here's the thing. Yeah, it's here's the thing. The Evercade carts, they're really just SD cards in disguise. You put if you connect them up to your computer, it thinks it's an SD card. And the cards that I couldn't read, I figured out why I couldn't read them. It's because they're formatted in a Linux format.
Yep.
Mm,
And now I can read them because I figured out how to do it.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm still pissed off about my Guild War account.
So sad. Online. And that's online. But to be fair though, like the SD cards, depending on they can last a,
You know
Yeah,
my
so-
goal. You know what I can do. Remember the Atari arcade collection where it said Asteroids Deluxe, but it's really just Asteroids with the Asteroids Deluxe background.
yeah.
I couldn't figure out a way to get Asteroids Deluxe on it and fix it because of I could put the ROM on it. I could rename the ROM, but it wouldn't think it was the right ROM because of probably not the right file size or something. It's probably checking that. But I can remove the background. And I think the next thing I'm going to try is actually just go into that cart and relabel all the text just to say it's Asteroids instead of Asteroids Deluxe. Because
That's great.
I can change all the text in it probably. Like in the
Do it.
menus.
I dare you. Do it.
No, I can do it. I'll show you. In fact, next week I'll show you.
Do it? You said do.
Yeah, I'll do it. I'll show you. Like I haven't done it yet. I haven't tried it, but there's nothing that makes me think that I can't do it.
Ooh,
So I will
Jason.
do it.
San Antonio's Riverwalk is awesome.
Yes, thank you.
San Antonio's Riverwalk's awesome. Plus, yeah, that's where the Alamo is at too.
There's
Did I
that,
back
and
up
oh,
the
dude, like the Mexican restaurants there are like really good, either on the Riverwalk or other. Yes, yeah.
There's a oh, can you get rid of that troll? There's a Canadian pub on the Riverwalk, used to be anyway, and that I remember when I was there on a business trip and I went in and they were singing "Oh Canada." That was awesome.
Oh, I didn't mean to type it.
I didn't say that. No, I know whoever you put.
No, I put there. I thought I was typing in the other chat.
That's all good. But yeah, there's a lot to do there. They have like anything from like Ripley's Believe It or Not to like other like science media. Yeah, there's a lot to do in San Antonio. Oh, sweet, cool.
I've never
Yeah, so
been
the
to
funny
Austin.
thing is, Austin is great, but like, let's say like, put it this like, if you have to like get on 35 or go into Austin, yeah, because of the traffic, it's like, But if I'm going to say like a concert or something, like yes, yeah. But But yeah, as we kind of like jokingly say here in Texas, like road construction is a way of life. Like, there's
Well,
maybe
that's everywhere. In
Yeah.
Chicago, they said that there's 2 seasons: winter and road construction.
Yeah, right.
Oh man. Oh, very cool. Very cool.
More trolls.
Yeah, I know. I see him.
Yeah, it's just funny. Like, you know,
Yeah,
trolls,
I
man.
know. Oh, so speaking of that, I'm not going to say this person's name because I don't want them to create. But like, here's the thing on that real quick. Somebody can disagree with me on my channel and anything, as long as like, and if people want to have an intelligent conversation. What I don't like is when people just say like, Evercade sucks. Evercade has all these issues, and then I'll be like, okay, sorry to hear that. Can you please tell me what specifically? And this one person I said we could have, like, I'll entertain it, like have an intelligent conversation going. And they just repeated themselves, and I don't know, like they were like words purposely misspelled. It looked like an AI, and so I did ban them. And then the funny thing is, they made another account, slightly changed the name and the icon. They're like, I see that you've banned my account, and then I banned them again. I didn't even like bother to read it. So it's like, guys, like, you know, like
if somebody says that, I just say, yeah, you're right. It does suck.
Yeah. You know, that's kind of funny, but it's just like, I don't know. People are trolling like just for like the sake of, like, you know, it's just like, come on now. If you have something intelligent to offer to a conversation, I will do that. Or sometimes the way some people can come off in text, like they don't mean to sound like an asshat. And I'll give them a second chance, like, hey, did you really mean that or this? And you know, I've had like a lot of luck with that, but it's funny. Or they're just trying to get like a reaction. It's like, whatever. But yeah, like that one. I mean, it's small, but what's left of there. But if you haven't seen it, it's some, you know, like historical to see there. Oh, you know what's hilarious, and this reminds me of, it was like a previous Evercast, like maybe like a year or so ago, and like somebody like they kept like saying like nonsense, and they kept like increasing their name by like they could call themselves, let's say, like Dan 1, Dan 2, I can't remember the name, and then finally they called themselves like, why does Ed keep banning me? It was just hilarious.
It's your prerogative, man.
Yeah,
It's your prerogative.
Yeah, it's just like, come on, guys. Like, at least if you're going to do, at least try to be creative. I mean, it's just sad. You know what I mean? So yeah, exactly, Toxo. I mean, I just kind of look at it as, listen, we've like created this environment that's like all inclusive without any gatekeeping with our love for gaming, and maybe some people don't want to see other people enjoying that. I don't know. That's what I always.
You can't say you're all inclusive if you're banning people.
Well. Except people that are okay. Yeah, except Crow, I wouldn't have you any other way. Yeah, but except for the people that want to take away from that environment, that's kind of like why I had to stop going to the Facebook group, because there were people who literally just want to like be a contrarian and just argue for the sake of it, and that was my frustration. And then I'd be like, okay, well, if you think like, some people would say like, I think there was one argument, well, the Evercade should never be updated. And I was like, okay, why do you think that? Well, just because it shouldn't. Like, that's. Like it's to me, it's like so dumb if you have an opinion but you can't back it up. Like, I don't have to agree with your opinion, but just say why. Otherwise, people are just being contrary for the sake of it.
Yeah, human beings, you know, man, who could figure them out, right?
Well, sometimes some people just feel a certain way, and they don't really have an explanation for it.
Well, yeah. And one dude at 8 accounts. Yeah, it's funny, right? It's just like, oh, that's right, Jason. Yeah, it was that one weirdo. But you know what though? I was like, they you know, they wouldn't say anything inappropriate. If someone said, I'm not going to ban someone for saying that they love. Yeah, that was funny. Exactly. They weren't doing it to be hurtful. They were just doing it to be silly. I'll tolerate silliness, but just, you know, not. Oh my goodness! Wow, we've almost been on here for 2 hours. This is like,
yeah.
This is fun. I knew this would be a good one. That's why I didn't bother to put up to review or go over a cart, because I knew this would take, you know, a lot of time.
I thought we'd be done on this in like 5 seconds, and then I knew that this would somehow get dragged out for 2 hours.
Dragged out. Well, there's a lot to talk about. I mean, come on, man.
What did we talk about? What? We didn't talk about anything except for what could possibly come out. That's about it.
Much ado about nothing when you think.
Yeah, but it. Part of the Evercade for a lot of people, like our viewers, like a lot of the Evercade ecosystem. Oh my gourd, Immortal! Wow, gifted 5 Evercade Effect memberships. Oh my god!
Look at that. That is awesome.
Dude, I love our community members. Oh my god. Immortal, oh my god. Immortal Soldier, you are awesome. Thank you. You totally didn't have to do that. I appreciate it immortally. Wow. Wow, dude, that's incredible. Wow. uh, but yeah, we it's like I totally lost my train of thought.
I'll let it slide because we were in between carts anyway, because we just finished the Commodore 64 2, I think. So I don't even know what we had planned for our next cart.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know either. Which one is it?
You got it again. Sweet. Yeah, people put in the chat like what you got it. Like whoever got it. Yeah. Put in the chat. But no, I was saying part of the fun of the Evercade ecosystem is the speculation. It's frustrating though when they go a little bit too vague or we have to wait like a little bit too long. You know what I mean? Like I get what they're going for, like marketing. They're saying you'll find out soon. Well, couldn't you say like, hey, within the next week?
Well, they didn't even say they'll find out soon.
Even more.
They didn't even say soon. They just said, "Here we go. Here's
there you go.
Question marks
Later." Hey, maybe they'll do a follow-up post or go on other podcasts and explain it more, and then we can get some information.
Because
that.
I know Rich had commented and said, well, maybe they're going to come out with a showcase later, like this Friday or later this week or something like that. I was like, well, then shouldn't they have put out the roadmap after the showcase?
Yeah,
that would have been the common sense thing to do if they did that, right? But I don't think
you asked too much. Question, guys: does a card issue seem to stem from EXP, or is that? What do you mean? Like what cart?
Like the whole carts dying thing, because I think in Crazy Burger, at least I've been noticing in Discord, he had his Indie Heroes Collection 3 cart die on him right in the middle of playing a game.
Yeah, you know. Yes, somebody commented on my stream. They said, hey, that what happened with you with Duke 2 is the same thing that happened with Crazy Burger with Indie. Yeah, somebody.
So were you guys playing on EXP or were you playing on VS?
Oh, I was playing on the VS when that happened.
Okay, so it does. I think he was playing on the EXP.
I don't think it matters. Listen,
it's basically the same hardware.
So speaking from personal experience, there's two issues that I had, like with the Codemasters collection and the first Duke. If you are going to get a failure, it'll be something like you can't play a certain game, but everything else will work. Or like the Renovation collection, and kind of like with Duke, it'll start to work, and then after like you play it for an hour, then it'll die. And both of those cases, I've written save state, so I think that's like something faulty, like a faulty chip. Knock on wood, I haven't had something where I've had a cart like the first, like I played the hell out of my first Atari and Namco's. Those are still working great. So it's been my experience that when it fails, it's going to right away. It doesn't mean that it won't, but other people have reported that they've had that happen like after a while. So I mean, it's like any piece of hardware. Even like old like NES carts can have a failure. It's just
here's the thing.
They were built differently, so you don't hear about it as much.
It's not just that. I think it has something to do with the fact that the carts can be rewritten too.
Yeah.
So it's possible. So it's possible the cart is fine, and then when you're playing it, it somehow gets corrupted data put onto the cartridge somehow.
Yeah, it's the hardware is doing something, or the OS on the hardware is doing something.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing: is like when I was making my adapter to be able to read Evercade carts on my PC, I was corrupting carts left and right, and I was able to restore them. But the reason why I discovered was because I made the cable too long, and that was the only reason why.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's kind of the trend. Like we love our save. Actually, what I was surprised, Crow, is that when you that the regular, I guess like the regular Evercade cards are probably just like FAT32, and that not everything is Linux. Like only the native games were Linux. Like I would have thought they would have used something.
No, actually, there are some other collections that have something on it other than native games that are also in Linux for some reason. I think like the Amiga ones might be. I can't remember. It wasn't just limited to indie here. There's been more recent ones that have been Linux formatted that didn't have any native games on it.
Oh, okay. That's because I would have thought they all should be. They should like all be Linux, and there should be a separate partition for the saves just in case just in case of that corruption.
Well, that's what I'm wondering. I wonder if you could have like an SD card that is a section of it that's read only, and then the rest of it is write only. I think you can. I think there's
Yes, you
been
can.
flash drives that are like that, but
Yeah,
that's
you definitely can.
But I don't know if they want to do that, because if they're going to update the game, you need to be able to rewrite the cartridge, the section that has the game on it.
So maybe there's a reason. There's also some interesting stuff here about Conas and the VS freezes, but yeah, definitely like that's having the right power brick, and that's not just with like VS. That's like with any like mini consoles, any device. Yeah, if you don't have enough power, and you said check it out. Yeah.
That's actually a good point too. I wonder if if you're running off of USB power, like if the VS particularly, because it wouldn't be burning off even if like devices that have batteries, even if you plug them in, they're still technically running off the batteries. But yeah, with like the VS in particular, since that has no battery, I wonder if it doesn't get enough power. If like during those read-write processes, something could happen if it doesn't have the appropriate adapter.
I think it would be maybe it's more expensive to do that, but no, that would be great. Or I know the reason they don't do that, because they'd have to have two VSs, since like here in the US we use like 110 power, in other places like look at the UK, it's like 200.
Well, no, that's not the issue, because they're all USB, and the adapter that you use whenever you plug the USB in that's up to the person. And I don't remember if the EXP even came with an AC adapter.
No, it didn't.
That's why they stopped doing that, is because that way they don't have to have different adapters for different regions.
But here's what kills me though, because you see it even with the the Atari 400 mini console, they'll come with an HDMI. So I'm like, okay, you'll spend the money on the cable that everybody has, but you won't come out with a power brick with the correct voltage to like avoid all these issues. Like,
but that's the thing, is like like I said, is like they would have to have a different adapter for every country.
Yeah, they'd have to have it come out of the factory, like for different regions with the different power adapter.
And by not including it, that saves them a whole lot of like issues.
Or just but what they could do is charge like an extra $5 or $10 and have that be an add-on. Like I think.
Plus, I will say that a lot of times you don't even need an adapter, because there's a lot of outlets now that just have USB power. You can plug.
I know. I've seen that in hotels, I think that's going to be the future, which is really cool. You just plug into USB-C. But yeah, but here's the thing though. I kind of feel like that in the beginning, with the amount of like issues and like with the amount of like support that they have to offer and explain, like if they just headed that off, or it would cost for them to have two different adapters, or just have two different SKUs. Like I get that it would be a little bit more, but it would kind of
all they could do, what they could do, is if it really was critical that you used a USB adapter with a certain amperage, they would say, and I think they have said, and maybe it's even the manual or something like that, make sure you use an adapter that provides X amount of amperage.
But people don't read that.
But even if they don't, then they could just say, okay, well, here's an adapter we'll sell you separately.
It's easily, like, even in the power bricks you have around your house, you got to look, like, sometimes the writing's so small you don't even know what the ampage is on them.
Yeah, actually.
Thank you, Pete. Yes, that's what they're.
Like,
yeah,
I mean,
that's why
like, Konami did that with that mini they had, right? One of the minis, they had a problem where it was nobody knew what the ampage was to get it to run without the frame rate issues.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing: what you could do, you could actually test your own USB adapters. And so I on Amazon bought a tester where I could plug it into the adapter, and it tells me exactly how much power it's providing. And that way, I could either label them myself or just throw them away if they're just really weak.
Yeah. But I think it's probably got something to do with the adapter and the OS rewriting stuff.
Yeah, exactly. It's probably a combination of things.
Yeah,
but don't you think though that they should have solved that by now though? Because I mean that's like a big deal.
Well, this is a hardware issue. It's a hardware issue, so that maybe if they came out with new hardware, it would that's what they would fix.
Oh my
maybe,
gosh!
Yeah, I think definitely it's. Yeah,
I gotta go.
Yeah, I should be going.
Yeah, it's about the 2 hours. No, this has been great. All right, what?
Hi everyone. Either way.
Oh, if you want to know if we're going in order of release after C64 Collection 2, we talked about Total Plane Arcade 2. Those were both released in April of 2023. In May of 2023, on the same day, there was Team 17 Collection 1 and Pico Interactive Collection 3.
Cool.
You want to plug anything real quick, Pete, before you leave?
Oh, I just put a video up last night called Balatro. It is a poker roguelike game. It is so much fun.
Yeah, he convinced me to buy it.
I need to watch that
before the stream.
Yeah, it is so much fun. I'm gonna go. I'll play it some more again. But yeah, that was it's a great thing. But yeah, that's about it. No, not much else going on. Bye, everyone.
Cool.
And,
I've
got a. I'm done
Crow?
with Home Computer Heroes Collection 1. I finished all the games on there, but so I'll need to work on a video for that. But I do have a video that I made for this, the 400 Mini. So, if you're a channel member, you can see that now because they did go live this morning. But for everyone else, it'll go live tomorrow.
Cool. For me, I think next week, my video, it's going to be. I need to do the follow up to the Commodore C64 unless we get any other big news that drops. Maybe it'll be both. Like this week, I put out 2 videos. I've been also doing like weekly member check-in videos, which have been a lot of fun. Hope we get Game of the Month soon, and I'll be putting out like once a month. I also do member only videos, and I think last one I did, I went over like my collectibles. I think I'm gonna take a deep dive into my GBA collection and kind of like talk about why did I get those certain games and all that type of stuff. And I think that'll be a lot of fun. Hey, you came at the last second archive gig. My God, I can't even talk. Well, thanks everyone for joining us. Mortal Sojourn, thanks again for gifting all those memberships. That's awesome. Really, really, really appreciate that. And all that. And I think we're going to go out on that. Oh, and then of course, have to give the usual YouTube speech. If you did travel and just kind of like appear into this like podcast and you like everything, be sure to sub to all 4 of our channels. Me, Pete, Crow, Rich. If you like Evercade and all that kind of like good stuff, we really appreciate it. And all that. And I am going to go ahead and do my it's awkward now. Say goodbye, and we'll see you next time. Thank you, Crashline, Mr. Shua, and the Immortal Sojourn!